Danny Lewis, be making videos, going to show you how to do a broken style beat, and this is in Cubase. I've loaded up the Hip Hop Kit 2, and basically I've just set stuff up, and I'm going to set the grid to 16th with a bit of swing on there. Okay, about 22% will do, and that's now set up here. I'm going to put the grid to bar for the arranging. I've got myself a loop up here that's currently at 1 bar. I'm going to make that 2 bars. I'm going to turn on cycle down below, put the click on. I'm going to set the tempo to fixed tempo, about 125. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in something that's quite handy in Cubase, which is something called in-place editing. And to do this, what I need to do is to double click between the locators to create an empty part. And then over here on the track list, just at the top, toggle in-place editor. If I turn that on, you can actually see the key edit screen placed actually within the project window, which is really handy. So I've got myself a hip hop kit here. This is on the Halion One, so it's just a preset instrument. I haven't actually chosen any of the sounds here, and it's just the library sounds. It's quite an interesting kit, a couple of things that are quite good in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a beat. The way that I'm going to do this today is on the transport, I'm going to switch to merge and then mix, which means that everything's going to be placed into this one track. And that's one of the methods that you can use for building up beats. So anyway, I'm going to leave this running. I'm going to build in some bits. Funny enough, there's an interesting sample. Where is it? Yeah, we've got some vinyl here. So I'm going to add a little bit of vinyl flavor on there. It's a technique that loads of people use, but it's going to add a nice kind of vibe to the whole thing. So anyway, let's just get going. And occasionally, as I add stuff, I'll probably bring in some comments and stuff, but I'm probably going to let it roll. So here we go. Just add the vinyl noise first. So you can see that coming through up there, and that's just running. Also, one of the other things that I'll do is I turn auto quantize on the transport, so everything's going to be tidied as I go along. So let's just get a couple of bits on the go. So we've got the little kick drum vibe going on there. I'm going to take record off for the moment just so I can get a feel for this. Take the click off, see if I can pick some other sounds. Okay, gonna get something in there, a little clave. So you can see it's quantizing as it goes along. Let's get yourself a hi-hat. So just building up these elements, see what else we got. Gonna do that at the beginning. Here we go. Gonna do the shaker. That's in there now. That's quite a cool sound. I'll get that in there. Do the open hat. So just going to find the right snare now. Here we go. See if we got another snare somewhere around here. And you can see this is how sometimes these library instruments sometimes have limitations. There's probably a snare that I want, but it's not on this actual preset. So maybe I'm going to set up another instrument in a second. Okay, I'll use this one. Here we go. So there's a snare in there. Looking for some other stuff to fill in the gaps here. That's cool, almost like another clave. See what else we can find. Alright, that reverse is nice. Have that just on there. What else we got? Another cowbell flavour getting in there. Okay, little triangle here. So here we go. Yeah, that's working well. Let's get that in there every now and again. Not personally my favourite snare sound. You know what I might do is if I just take this, let's just scan up and down a bit. Okay, maybe that temp, let's see. Nah, let's go down the list. See about that one. Nah, tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and place it later on. Okay, a bit later. One 16th more to the right. There we go. So you know that's got the broken flavour there. So anyway, last thing to do. What we're going to do is take all of this data. I'm going to take away the in-place editing, and the other thing that I'm going to do is select the MIDI. Come down to dissolve part, separate pitches, and then we're going to have all of the individual tracks placed down on the sequencer. So you know this is nice because it means we can individually edit all of the elements that we've got in here so you can play around with them. So that's it, signing off for the moment until the next time.